Today we're going to read a story called Auntee Edna. It's written by Ethel Footman Smothers, illustrated by Will Clay. It's going to be an exciting, different kind of a book for you to use, and I hope you like it. Auntee Edna. Look at her cat. She's going to smell the roses. That's what he is, or she. Just look at this house. Isn't it a pretty house? And the tree over there. Looks like she has maybe some bird feed in that feeder. Auntee Edna, right here it says. Tokee was having one of those days. Her wish I'd never been born kind of day. For no good reason, Mom had said she and Reba had to stay overnight here at Auntee Edna's. You need to get to know your people and don't tell your auntie old-fashioned, Mom had cautioned. But Tokee knew Auntee Edna was old-fashioned. She didn't even have a TV. Tokee knew from the start, even before she walked through the door, that this day was going to be stale. Tokee always said stale when she was bored, when she was having a wish I'd never been born day. And this was definitely one of those days. Tokee's fingers played hopscotch on Auntie's couch. Stale, 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 she thought as she began. Just then she heard Reba in the kitchen. Tokee jumped, glad her sister was back. At least Reba would be some company. Reba had run an errand down the street for Auntee Edna. Tokee wasn't allowed. All the while, Reba just went on her merry way. You're doing something, Tokee? Reba asked, putting Auntie's basket on the table. Like what? Tokee stretched her eyes toward the ceiling, as if there was something to do in this old place. No TV, just a big, fat nothing. See, she just isn't happy at all. Now this is Reba. Then Tokee got an idea. I got it. You and I could play. Now we will get this turned page and see what they're doing. That won't work. Won't work at all, an unfamiliar voice cut in. That's truly out of the question. Say what? Tokee whirled around, and there was this screechy-eyed girl coming into her auntie's house, telling her what to do. Say what? Tokee said again. You're talking to me? Reba and I made other plans, this other person told her. Tokee cut her eyes at Reba. Geraldine here is Mrs. Walker's niece. Reba tried to explain. You know the lady Auntie had me take these things to? Auntie said it's okay for me to go to Geraldine's for a while. But I thought we would do something together. We will, Tokee, when I get back, but I want to. So she wants to go to... Which girl do you think is this one? And then there's this girl, and then there's this girl. So we'll find out which is Reba and which is Tokee. I would say this one is Tokee. So let's find out. Tokee hushed in the middle of her sentence and tightened her lip. How come she had to be the one cooped up here with old-fashioned Auntee Edna? What was she supposed to do now? I've got a taste for some baked goods. An extra hand would help. Let's see if we can get this. Help get it done in a jiffy. Auntee Edna had appeared as quietly as an evening shadow. She spoke as if she had actually heard Tokee thinking. So now Tokee is alone with Auntee Edna. Need to satisfy my sweet tooth, said Auntee Edna, handing Tokee a bowl without even giving her a chance to say if she wanted to help or not. Now Auntie would probably make her bake dinky old cookies, thought Tokee. Stale, stale, stale. Auntee Edna should know by now that people don't make cookies. They buy them at the store. You know, your auntie said, reaching for a mixing bowl, these won't be plain, ordinary cookies. Come to think of it, they're not really cookies at all. In fact, Auntie went on, they're tea cakes, resembling a cookie, but no cookie can compare to my tea cakes. Just make your taste buds jump up and shout. Auntee Edna held every word an extra long time, letting them roll out like she was tasting some tea cakes right then. So she was saying everything in a real slow motion. One by one, Auntie named what she needed. Said she didn't need any recipe written down. Had it all tucked away in her head. Eggs, she called out. I remember when we had to gather them in the hen house. Stale, thought Tokee, and passed Auntie the carton. Fetch the flour now, Tokee, Auntie said. Did you know flour used to come in cloth sacks? My mama used to sew us clothes out of those sacks. Tokee didn't care how much things used to be, but Auntie told her anyway. So there is a picture of when Auntie was younger, how she went to the chicken house and got the eggs, and now she's here, down here, she's going to be doing something special with Tokee's hair. Tokee didn't care how much things used to be, but Auntie told her anyway. Need some butter now. Auntie plopped a chunk in the bowl. I churned my kegs of butter in my day. Had to milk the cow first, though. My papa had the stubbornest cow I ever had the misfortune of knowing, but I wasn't about to let her get the best of me. I made up my mind to milk her one way or the other. Well, Maybelly, that was the name of the cow. That was our cow, Auntie talked over the rim of her glasses. Maybelly thought otherwise. She took that hind leg and sent me sprawling, milk and all. Give me a knot on the one side of my head, the size of a goose egg. Tokee turned her head and covered her mouth, but a laugh pushed anyway. Auntee Edna laughed too, a deep, bubbly laugh, the kind that made you want to join in. So Tokee was starting to laugh and be glad that she was with Auntee Edna, was telling her funny things. That was good. When Auntie caught her breath, she measured the way she usually did. A couple of cups of flour, a pinch of salt, a dash of vanilla, a sprinkle of this and a dab of that. Soon as the wab of dough formed, Auntie said no newfangled cookie cutter was going to shape her tea cakes. Now she didn't want just a special shape or anything. She wanted a special circle on them. She and Tokee would cut them the way she always did, with a plain old jar. They rolled the dough out on the table until it looked like a ragged edge map. Then Tokee turned the top of the mayonnaise jar on the flattened dough. The cut pieces pushed up into the jar and slid out round and even. So now she had some perfect looking recipe cookie on the cookie sheet right there. Tea cakes in the oven. Tokee followed Auntie to the bedroom. Tokee had a button missing. Auntie said this was as good a time as any to stitch on another. Seat yourself, Auntie patted the bed covers. She took the tin box from the closet, handed it to Tokee, and told her to pop the lid. Tokee opened the lid and all sorts of buttons spilled out. Dime thin ones, big thick chunky ones, some wavy with edges, some smooth and shiny like jewels. Some were robin eggs blue, some the color of rainy day clouds, all dull and gray. Others were shaped like dried up leaves. Still others were small and round like peas. Tokee couldn't believe her eyes. Where did all of these come from? So see, there they all kind of fell on the floor. But just look at them. They're just all kinds of buttons. Put some away myself. Some passed on to me from other people. Really? Auntie, those buttons. This one belonged to your great-great-uncle who fought in the Civil War. And this one here, Annie picked up another button, was left by your great-great-grandma who was born in 1875. She was a dressmaker, one of the first of our family to own her own business. This one's from her shop. For real? Tokee eyes widened. All true, Auntie said. Why do you keep all of them? Auntie bit the thread and knotted the end. Never know when I might need one. So what is happening today? She needs one, doesn't she? Take now, Auntie winked. When Tokee ran her hands through the bottom button pile, she held one up. What's this one about? Any kind of memory go with it? Not in particular, not until now, Auntie said. Look in the basket and bring me that string. So she was supposed to look in the basket and try to bring her a string. What is she going to do with a string? Look at her. She's trying to put the button on Tokee's blouse. I think we got two papers here. I guess not. Tokee passed Auntie the string. Auntie broke two long pieces and handed one to Tokee. Wet the string like this. Tokee licked the end of her piece and picked up a button. Now take your button and run the end of the string through the eyes of the button. Tokee slipped the string through one eye and back through the other. Then she knotted the ends just like Auntie. Now take it like this, Auntie instructed. Tokee looped the string over a finger on each hand. She whirled the string with the button on the middle until the string got all twisted and bunched together. Just look at her. Look at her Auntie. She's having fun, isn't she? She swirled the string with a button in the middle until the string got all twisted and bunched together. Then she pulled like Auntee Edna. The button swirled and swined in a blue blur of color. The string stretched like rubber. This is great, Tokee laughed. Who taught you how to make these? What are they called? Oh, we made these and lots of other playthings coming up. Some folks called this a zoo. Suppose others called it something else. No matter, had ourselves a pretty good time, just the same. So she was telling Tokee the good time she had growing up and the things they used to do. How exciting and fun she had too in her day. By now the house smelled vanilla sweet, and Auntie put the tea cakes on the windowsill. What other kinds of things did you do when you were growing up? Well, now, when I was no bigger than a bump on a log, just like you, Auntie chuckled, all the women folks used brown paper to put curls in their hair. Brown paper, Tokee frowned. Might seem odd, but it worked. Auntie took a paper bag, tore a long strip, and twisted it tight. Then she wrapped one of her hair around it and tied the paper with the end sticking up. Do mine, Tokee pleaded. Auntee Edna put paper bag rollers all over Tokee's head. Then Tokee put paper bag rollers all over Auntie's head. Tokee laughed. Sure, she didn't look half as funny as Auntee Edna did, like someone, the way Auntie put it, dressed up like a porcupine. What's bringing on the giggles? Tokee laughed some more. You. Oh, is that so? Auntie chuckled and reached for the mirror so Tokee could have a look for herself. So she's she's going to be looking in the mirror. Right now I don't see the mirror. We'll see what the next page says. The cat is having fun too. Oh, down here is the mirror. See how down here? And they're looking at their hair. They're laughing at it. The aliens done landed. Reba came in the back door. Do I really look weird? Tokee covered her face. Worse, teased Reba. You're back pretty early, Auntie observed. Anything wrong? Reba looked at the floor and then back to Tokee. Geraldine and I don't think the same. I decided to come back and do something with Tokee. Good, Tokee said. Then we can make you look just like us. Give you a head full of paper bag rollers, too, just like we have on our heads. Later, when the shadows had grown deep, Tokee and Reba and Auntie Edna sat on the front porch, hair in paper bag rollers, looking like porcupines and eating tea cakes. They watched sparks of light flicker across the yard. Lightning bugs, Auntie Edna called them, said when she was coming up or growing up, they were to catch them and put them in jars, carry those jars around just like lanterns. Tokee wondered what they'd do tomorrow. Old-fashioned stuff wasn't too bad after all. Neither was Auntie Edna. She was a lot of fun for Tokee, even though at first she thought it was stale. Just look at her. They're having lots of fun. Thank you for listening to this story. Have a great day and God bless.